the Azerbaijan president, Aliev, he went viral. And he went viral because he was talking to some Western reporter, perhaps somebody from like the BBC, and he went on the offense. Take a look at this.
There have been no restrictions. And the number of internet users in Azerbaijan is more than 80%. Can you imagine the restriction of media in a country where internet is free, there is no censorship, and there are 80% of internet users? We have millions of people on Facebook. How can you say that we don't have free media? This is, again, a biased approach. This is an attempt to create a perception in Western audience about Azerbaijan. We have opposition, we have NGOs, we have free political activity, we have free media, we have freedom of speech. But if you raise this question, can I ask you also one? How do you assess what happened to Mr. Assange? Is it a reflection of free media in your country?
We're not here to discuss
no,
my
let's
country.
Discuss.
No,
let's discuss.
No, President
In order
Aliev.
to accuse me, saying that Armenians will not have free media here, let's talk about Assange. How many years he spent in Ecuadorian embassy? And for what? And where is he now? For journalistic activity. You kept that person hostage, actually killing him morally and physically. You did it, not us, and now he's in prison. So you have no moral right to talk about free media when you do these things.
Returning to the conflict.
Better return to the conflict, because this is not what you like. You like only to accuse, only to attack. But look at the mirror. Look, I tell many times, before coming and lecturing us, and in your question, accusing me, it's not a question, it's accusation. You talk like a prosecutor. Why? If you're so democratic and so objective, why you keep Assange in prison? For what? You keep him in prison because of his journalistic activity.
I'm not keeping him in prison, President Aliev. But
you don't like this.
It's not a question of don't like.
You are not used to this.
It's not the subject of our interview.
Only to attack.
It's not the subject of our interview. And with respect, President Aliev.
It is not the subject of interview, but you raise it.
You raised it.
No, you raised it.
You raised the case of Assange.
You said Armenians, if you don't have a free media in your country.
So let's be clear about all this. The Azerbaijan president, Aliev, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but that's how I think you pronounce it. He is a dictator. It is what it is. So his dad was president, then he became president in 2003. Unanimous agreement it was a fraudulent election. This guy has overseen torture. He's done arrests with no due process. There's credible claims of harassment of NGOs and journalists. And what's most interesting about him is that he's actually somehow a puppet of both the West and Russia. And that's very strange because usually that's not okay. Like Russia and the West will sort of make you pick a side. And if you're caught between them, good luck continuing to be in your position of power. So it's kind of fascinating that he's found a way to both have deep economic ties with Russia and be a puppet of Russia, but also have deep economic ties with the West and be a puppet of the West. So he's sort of played both sides and somehow gotten away with it to this point. So he's in a unique position as, a leader of a country who you could argue he's less free than any other leader, or you could argue he's more free, that if he goes after the West, Russia will protect him. If he goes after Russia, the West will protect him. So I don't know. You can make the argument it's worse or better. I don't know. But what he says about Assange is totally accurate. Again, let's be clear. This guy's overseen torture. They don't have a free media there at all. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying because his criticism of Assange is correct, therefore he's good. No. But this does highlight a real problem, which is there is no moral authority. The West has no moral authority. None. At all. Period. So the West can play this game all they want. We believe in freedom and democracy and human rights and free speech and a free press and classic Enlightenment values. The West can say that until they're blue in the face. Doesn't mean Dickie McGee's acts to anybody, because everybody knows what we do in reality, what we do in practice, is not the same as what we say. So we're the ultimate do as I say, not as I do country. We really are. And what he's saying about Assange is correct. can't lecture anybody about having a free press because look at Edward Snowden. Look at Julian Assange. Chelsea Manning was tortured. Thankfully, she eventually got out. That was one really good thing Obama did. But the West is absolutely persecuting Assange because Assange blew the whistle and showed war crimes. And he embarrassed the deep state, he embarrassed the military-industrial complex, and they struck back. Edward Snowden embarrassed the NSA. They're striking back. So you just can't say we have a free press. Because the real test of how free your press is when somebody does something that actually gets under the skin of the powerful. How do the powerful respond? And the response in the U.S. was clear. Throw the book at him. Destroy him. Destroy his life. Torture him. That's what happened. And so this guy's right. He's a torturer. He's against a free press. He's authoritarian. But his point is like, you guys do the same shit, so you can shut up. You can shut up. Now, if you want to make an argument about scale, hey, who does it more, who's more egregious and flagrant with their violations, maybe there's a discussion to be had there. But the bottom line is, as a matter of principle, everybody's violating it. And the U.S. has no moral authority to talk about democracy or talk about a free press when we also really don't abide by it. So we should lead the world by example and actually abide by the principles that we claim to believe in. And then we would have a point when we say to everybody else, that's bullshit. What are you doing there? That's not acceptable. But now we say it, and this is the response. And the response is true. And so, seems like we went down a very, very bad path here.